So here, if you notice, strategies to prove that you understand every word that you read. I think I must be kidding if I were to tell you that you read and you are able to understand exactly every word that you read. Whatever language, whatever discipline it is. Am I right or wrong? Yeah? Hello? Can I have some response? Do you choose to understand? Are you okay? Do you call yourself a slow reader or a fast reader? Slow? Are you sure? Why do you consider yourself a slow reader? Raise your hands as to how many of you consider yourself a slow reader. Raise your hands. And so hopefully after today you're a fast reader, yeah? Okay, whatever it is, now I want you to remember that whether you're a slow reader or a fast reader, the most important thing is your ability to skim and scan at the same time. Yeah? Whether it's an academic piece of reading, yeah, or whether you're reading at the social media. So the important thing is a two-in-one thingy which you need to understand. Yeah? If you skim and scan at the same time, you will be able to understand the gist of what you're reading, and that is called a smart reader. So most of you think you're a slow reader, but actually you're not. If today you are where you are, it's considered you are a smart reader. Yeah, if you have qualified to be sitting where you are sitting today, I'm sure you're a smart reader. Yeah, a slow and a fast reader, actually a two-in-one, but you don't realize it sometimes. Okay, today my workshop objectives will be the first one, for you to improve your comprehension skills, your understanding of whatever you read. Yeah? To offer you a reading strategy. Some of you may be familiar with it, some of you may not be familiar with it. To improve your critical thinking skills and contextual reading. Now, I'm sure you are from a system where memorization and regurgitation was the order of the day. Today, times have changed. Higher order thinking skills are emphasized. Yeah? Where you don't just absorb like a sponge what you read, but you need to read between the lines. Think beyond what is stated in front of you. Would you agree? At the university now, whatever discipline you are, whether in the sciences or the arts, I am sure reading is not just surface reading. It's reading between the lines too, based on concrete assumptions. Are you all able to follow my train of thoughts? Okay? How many of you are not able to follow? Then I will change my pattern of delivery. Anyone can't follow what I'm trying to tell you? Oh, great. I'm sure it's very straightforward as to what I'm trying to put forward to you. Okay, the next, to help you understand the importance of defining key terms when you read. Now, very good writers actually, they use thesis statement at the introductory passage. Now, thesis statement is actually a summary of the main idea. Like for example, technology is a very big term, umbrella term. Yeah? But if I were to come up with a thesis statement, can anyone give me a thesis statement for the term technology? Anyone? Be brave, come on, people. Just shout it out aloud, no problem.
Technology can be a boon and bane.
Sorry?
Technology can be a boon and a bane.
Oh, great. So, but that's too catchy for a thesis statement. Thesis statement has to be very precise. Just fine-tune it, make it more precise.
Technology has its advantage and disadvantage.
Excellent. Yeah? Now, people, you have to speak out. What is the problem with our graduates today? They may be high-strung CGPA achievers, Dean's lists, but unfortunately they are unable to speak out. You see, I'm asking you a very simple question. It's either you are shy or you are unable to actually think and speak out, or you're able to do it perfectly but you're just too shy to speak up. The top-notch companies in the country or globally complain year in, year out as to our graduates are not being able to competently speak. Is the reason behind it, why am I bringing this off tangent, is because when I ask you questions, you're not responding. It's just 1, 2, 3, specs of you actually speak up. You need to speak up. Yeah? You need to be able to communicate, not just be a straight scorer. Yeah? Top-notch companies want people who are able to communicate relevant, employees, and employees who are able to actually think between the lines and speak up. Okay, so anyway, back to what I'm trying to deal with. Back to the thesis statement, A thesis about technology. So he gave me a thesis statement. Technology has its advantages and disadvantages. So fantastic. That was a great thesis statement. So automatically, every paragraph, it operates like a family actually. So every paragraph will have the main idea that's related to the thesis statement. In terms of advantages and disadvantages. So that's actually the key term. The key terms, when you read, you must always look out for key terms. And when you answer exam questions, you come up with the key terms that actually relates to the question, whatever question under the sun it may be. Would you agree or not? Okay, when you go to the exam hall, you open up your booklet, how do you react when you read the question? Can anyone tell me? What do you start doing?
Rephrasing the questions.
Sorry?
Rephrasing the questions.
Same person answering me. I want someone else. If not, I'm going to walk up to you and ask you. Come, tell me, what is your first reaction? When you go, open the booklet, the exam hall, what's your reaction to the question? You have read the question, you have digested it, So what is your next reaction? What's your next step? While reading the question, what do? Look out for keywords, Why do you look out for keywords, key terms? Why? That is the bearing actually to how you should exactly answer the question. So key terms are very important. So that's to help. One of the objectives of this workshop is to help you understand the importance of defining key terms when you read. So basically, this workshop mainly is to help you improve your reading comprehension skills at the university level actually. Okay, now so what is comprehension actually? What is comprehension? Can anyone tell me? What do you understand by comprehension? Give me a synonym for comprehension. Hello? What is the meaning of comprehension? What does comprehension test you? Now, every time, like now, even when you're reading the slide, what are you trying to do? Comprehend, understand what is in the slide. So comprehension is actually understanding. So basically, whatever academic reading you're doing, formal or informal, it is to understand. So Webster's dictionary actually defines comprehension as what? I wish this was a wireless one. I'll just walk up to you. It's just that now I am stuck here. So you're sitting right in front. Come, help me to read that. Yeah. What's Webster's definition? Shout for your life. Grasping. Yeah, so grasping means understanding and acquiring what is important, what is being read actually. Now, how many of you say no to this? Do you have to define every word to prove you understand? How many of you say no? Raise your hands. Excellent, so you're on the right track, majority, yeah? Understanding every word you read does not require that you define every word. So what do you do if you don't, say there are 10 words there or 20 words, you don't understand 3 to 4 words. So what do you do? What do you do? It's unfair, I just look at the front. What do you all do at the back there? Any one of you? Or what have you been doing? Hello? Yes?
Guessing the meaning.
Yes, an intelligent guess. Excellent. Yeah? So we do intelligent guessing, yeah, which we can't go so wrong. I think there are most spaces here, you don't have to sit on the stairway there. Come to the front. There are places here in front. What happens, would you all agree with this term bogged down? If you are going to actually make sense of every word that you read in a 2000 article, what do you think? Do you agree with it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Of course. Yeah? Probably you will take few hours to decipher the whole article, when someone else who plays the intelligent guessing will just take about maybe 30 minutes. So you need to read intelligently in order to actually decipher the meaning. But I must admit, I must say this, that academic reading sometimes you can't afford to neglect certain words. Would you agree with me? Why so? It could make a difference, yeah, to the main ideas. How many of you would consider yourself a wise reader? How many of you would consider yourself a wise reader? Many of you are too humble, I think, here. Come on, people, I'm sure all of you are wise readers. Yes or no? No. Why? When you stress yourself by not considering yourself a wise reader? Because you're not achieving the full CGPA per semester? That's not the yardstick. Yeah? I think your yardsticks are all wrong. Your yardstick, yeah, to consider yourself a wise reader is actually what? I wonder whether you all are following or you all here for the sake of just being here. What's your yardstick of being considered a wise reader? Yes, people, come on. Yardstick means measurement. Your understanding. If you're able to understand what you read, you are considered a wise reader. I'm sure most of the times you understand. Yeah? How do you make sense? How do you make sense of what you read? And sometimes if you don't understand, how do you manage that? Go online and check out the word, the synonym. Yes? Is that what you do? Or do you take out the fat dinosauric dictionary. And Oxford, not anymore, right? Neither do I. Yeah? Okay, so that has actually lost its essence. Okay, example of information wasting or overuse is citing long quotes instead of paraphrasing, or presenting logical fallacies as they are even proven evidence. Okay? A wise reader is a critical reader, one able to apply critical thinking abilities, being able to analyze, synthesize, and evaluate. Now, how many of you, this is the higher order of Bloom's taxonomy, how many of you practice this? Analyze a text and criticize the writer. How many of you do that? No one. Just now I saw you holding a thick book there. Is it a novel? Just now I saw you holding a thick novel there. Is that a novel or academic reading? Yeah, you. Oh, okay. It's a diary. Fine. So now, that's a bit rattling actually. In today's modern world, you're still holding a diary. Fantastic. Not an FB, Instagram, yeah, or a Twitter. Okay, fine. So you still, yeah, I can then. Why? Because, okay, in fact, while she's writing, do you know that no skill can on its own? Reading is integrated with writing because you do annotations. When you read, yeah, you make notes. Or when she writes, she's actually also reading. So no skill operates on its own. It's like a pair, listening, speaking, together with reading, writing. You can't divorce the skills. Who can tell me which skill from day one you have naturally inherited that skill? Which skill is that? Who can tell me? Come on. Sorry? Louder? Writing? Oh gosh. Okay, now the four skills: listening, speaking, reading, writing. The moment the fetus is formed, exactly, listening. Yeah, listening, and that is the main reason we all neglect the listening skill. We take it for granted. Yeah, we take it for granted. The poor skill which we had inherited from the very first day. Yeah. So anyway, coming back to reading, yeah, and looking at an article critically, it's very important in terms of acquiring particular skills, yeah, your ability to think, to analyze, to synthesize, and to evaluate. How many of you have issues, have problems with evaluating? No one? So all of you are excellent, so then I'm going to ask you a question. Evaluate your experience in USM as an apex status, yeah, university, and how do you evaluate your experience as a student? I just need to listen to two of you. You have to do this fast. So you need to now confirm on what basis are you evaluating your experience as a student, right? Smile is plastered on your face, yes. How do you evaluate your experience as a student? So immediately, what must you think of? Your basis. Your basis of evaluation. What's your basis of evaluation? Your experience, right? Yeah. Quickly, come on, yeah? establishing relationships. You're all running away, they're scared I come to them. Okay, what else? Okay, so getting to know people, so that's one. Evaluation. How about you? How do you evaluate the experience so far? Think, you have to think. Look at things critically. Try to become more self-disciplined. Okay, so your experience here has taught you to become more disciplined, yeah, in terms of yourself. Okay, good. Now I want you to synthesize, put your ideas together as to your experience in USM so far. Earlier was evaluating, now your ability to synthesize. How your experience has actually made innovation to your ways, to your thinking. Maybe you can help.
After I came here,
Yes.
I noticed that I put very high priorities on general knowledge.
General knowledge, excellent. So that actually showcases USM as an apex university which prioritizes actually general knowledge. Yeah? So how did you come to that synthesis?
Because when I came here, I saw a lot of people with high CGPAs, 4.0s, 3.98. But once I asked them something like rather simple, like a simple question, what is ISIS, no one can tell me. So I realized that grades is no longer that important anymore.
Exactly, and that was actually what I was trying. Give him a round of applause. That was actually what I was trying to emphasize earlier when you did not want to respond to me. Yeah, when you were scared to give me answers, say things, say your minds. Yeah, so that actually made me go off tangent, and to remind you that today's graduates in today's globalized scenario, yeah, the expectations of you are no more just scoring high CGPAs. There will be 1,000 applying for 2-3 jobs. So you must be able to actually shine. So what is the criteria between what makes you better than the other candidate or the 900 over other candidates? So it must be the extras you have. And how is that? You must be able to communicate. You must be able to synthesize, analyze, evaluate knowledge, evaluate ideas, and be able to speak up. Now, what I have asked you are actually so far oral questions. Yeah, oral questions. So it is actually the same application is when you read. When you read, you don't just absorb like a sponge whatever that is in front of you. You need to be able to analyze, evaluate, and actually synthesize the information. Okay, what do I mean by analyze the situation? Like you see, just now when I told you all, when I looked at all of you, I analyzed you, how your sitting order was. Most of you, as usual, are backbenchers. Some of you are meddling with your phones. You are here, God knows for what reasons. Okay, you're also not focused. Some of you with your calculators, you're doing other stuff. Yeah. So, see, I'm analyzing you. I'm not just having the session for the sake of having. I want you all to benefit. It must be a win-win situation. You're sacrificing your time. I'm sacrificing my time to ensure that this session actually benefits you. Yeah? You can't benefit 100%, at least 40%. So, now, analyze your situation in USM so far and tell me in just 2 lines. Anyone? Whichever discipline you're from, whichever school you're from, whatever reading that you're doing for academic purpose, you need to do a close reading. Yeah? As a university reader, you will have to come across a lot of different types of texts, different types of genres. Contextual reading. Contextual reading will be again multidisciplinary. Whatever faculty, schools you're from, you are doing your own contextual reading. Critical thinking is when your lecturers ask you your opinion about the article, yeah, you need to look at it from different dimensions. Okay, close reading. What do you see there? It is a formal reading that requires more than just identifying words correctly. You must be able to respond to the text critically. Yeah? So close reading is about language, yeah, which denotes, expresses outright, and what it connotes. Now these two words, denotes and connotes, are very important. Denotes is very explicit. Straight away when you read, you will understand what it means. Now connotes, there is a double meaning. Connotations. Are you all aware that connotations, there are always double meanings? I'm sure you all did literature in Form 5, right? A metaphor. What is a metaphor? A metaphor is an indirect comparison. Unlike a simile, he ran as fast as lightning. Number one, okay, is to show the speed, how fast he ran. Yeah? Number two, it shows the speed, how it's because it's compared to lightning, it shows, yeah, that lightning strikes in milliseconds. Yeah, so that is the connotation. So when you are doing close reading, when you are actually reading a text very closely, you have to ask yourself these questions. Is there dialogue or description presented? Now, when you read, remember it is not passive. Whatever you are reading, remember it is an active process because you want to look at it critically. So you ask yourself questions. Yeah, you ask yourself these rhetorical questions. Is there dialogue or description presented? Is the tone humorous or serious? That is for literature. Is the style unique or have you seen other writers use that style? Is the language vague or straight to the point? Okay. So close reading does not require the reader to consider historical background on the author's writing, motivations before reading. It is straight zoomed in into the text per se. So close reading involves paying attention to patterns, occurrences that repeat. Now because when you read journal articles, yeah, for whatever discipline that you are in, remember when you look at a journal article, at one glance you will panic. You won't understand what the journal article is all about, especially if it's an ISI journal. So these are the things that you may not look into journal articles in the first year. You may look at it in the second year, or you may look at it in your final year. It depends, yeah? So when you are, especially journal articles, many people are frightened by journal articles. You don't have to be frightened. What is important is you need to look at the clues for meaning. Number one, patterns, yeah, which are occurrences that repeat or follow a sequence. Is the writer using formula, the same formula, yeah, from the beginning of the article to the end? Polarities, conditions or situations that create opposition or differences, yeah? Problems, difficult situations, matters of people, need for resolution. So these three things so far, do you understand as to what it is related to about close reading? Do you all understand? Or do you have any questions? Raise your hands. Any questions? No? Sure? Or you scared to ask? Malu tanya sesat jalan. Yeah, if you're scared to ask, I can't read your mind. So please clarify if you don't understand. Huh? Puzzles, difficulties or mysteries that require work or effort to solve or energy to make less complicated or manageable. So sometimes, remember, articles fit like a puzzle. As what I mentioned just now, a thesis statement, main idea, so there is a flow there. Paradigms, changing courses of action or shifts in thought. maybe you can't see the writer being so critical in the first two paragraphs, say regarding a formula. Then in the third or fourth paragraph, you see the criticisms come in. Yeah, as to how there were other critics regarding that formula. Yeah, it depends what you're reading. Perception. Now, there are many research that is qualitative. It looks at perception. What is the difference between perception and opinion? Can tell me, what's the difference between perception and opinion? Or is it the same? Is it the same? Perception and opinion? Perception is persepsi. Opinion is pendapat. So is it the same? If you come across these two words, come on, what's it? Is it the same? Yes or no? Thank you very much. No, a big no. So then again, I'm sure you are thinking inside now. She's going to ask what is the difference. Yes. So what's the difference? Yes. If I were to ask you, what is your perception towards your degree program? And I ask you, what is your opinion of your degree program? You'll be very happy if it's an opinion question. Why? It needs no research. It's based on what I say and what you say. One man's meat is another man's. One man's meat is another man's.
Poison?
Come on! One man's meat is another man's.
Poison.
Poison, thank you very much. So opinion can be a one man's meat and another man's poison. However, perception is well rigorously researched. It could be a qualitative or a quantitative research to establish perceptions. So that is the difference, yeah? So now, so perception is the application of senses using the mind to process information, thinking, feeling, acknowledging, gaining awareness, all through proven statistics. Yeah? Perception is an in-depth insight. It is not surface as opinions. So you must be able to distinguish that, yeah? So when you read an article, you've got to look at the writer's voice. The writer's voice in terms of his or her perception towards that particular meaning material. Okay, so perception is using one's mind as a processor, CPU, with these multiple capabilities. Create, retrieve, modify, and store data that may be publishable material. Because remember, when every researcher researches on a particular area, topic, this is for your future reference when you want to do your master's or your PhD. When there's a topic in hand to be researched, the findings are got. And from the findings, then again the researcher has to look at those 4 areas, yeah, as to establish the data. Okay, so would you consider yourself a university reader? Of course. You will be at the first category, yeah? You are a university student who enjoys reading. Do you enjoy reading or not? Oh, yeah? Or do you have a choice? Do you enjoy reading? Yes or no? Depends. That's a very intelligent answer. Depends. Excellent. Why? Of course. I ask asked you a stupid question. Yeah? But you responded very intelligently. But I shall retract. It wasn't a stupid question. It is actually to look at how you perceive reading. It depends on the material that you're reading. If you are reading on the social media, wow, there'll be all smiles on your faces. Yeah, and you'll be stalking all your friends. And there's excitement in your reading. But once when there's an academic piece of writing, a journal in front of you, oh no, there, here. Is that so? Do I hear oh no from most of you? Yes. So then, academic reading is very bitter for you. Yes? Is it? Hard to understand. Okay, so you have said it's hard to understand, so I hope my session will actually help you to understand things, understand what you're reading in a better manner. You see, just as how in biology animals are dissected, you have to dissect the text that you're reading. Yeah, the text, that academic reading that you're doing is very, very condensed. You know condensed milk? I'm sure you do. The thick milk, it's so thick. So just like your academic reading, it is so concentrated, it's so thick. So what do you have to do? Dissect it. Take out the thesis statement. Look at every paragraphing. Make sure you understand what is embedded in every paragraph. So you have to be a critical reader in that sense. So don't get so worried about reading. Yeah, you have to actually confront your fear. Confront your reading fear. And that's about it. That's a good spirit. Come on, people. So whatever fears you have about academic reading, you have to confront it. Not let it get the better of you. And how is that? You need the strategies. You need the reading strategies actually to help you understand your reading. Now I'm sure when you did poetry, yeah, in your Form 4 or Form 5 in school, you would have got very worried looking at the poetry, right? The poem. Yes or not? Why? Because of the language. Shakespeare uses all Elizabethan era language. Yeah, so you get worried. Yeah? Anyone of you are from the arts? Anyone from School of Languages? Which School of Arts, is it? Okay, fine. So they are on the creative side, yeah. So I'm sure they can think out of the box, yeah, when you're reading. So an effective contextual reader displays detection skills. Just like detectives, when you read, you need to detect the writer's main ideas, seeing flaws as well as demonstrations of excellence in writing. You also need to look at what you're reading critically. Okay? So an effective contextual reader with good sensory skills is one who looks for what is plausible, what is believable. Say if your lecturer gives you a journal article and asks you to critically look at that article. Would you know what to do? Have you done it before? Any one of you? No? Sorry? Have you read any journal articles? No? Not yet? Yes? I hear yes. So, who said yes? Okay, one of you come forward. Come, one of you come forward. Okay, let's hear the testimony of someone who has read a journal article. Okay, what was her first impression? Okay, what was your first impression when you saw that article?
It was a piece book, which is like probably 3 pages, but it contains up to 50 pages of information. Yeah.
So that's what I meant by you have this phobia for reading, yeah, when it goes to pages after pages, yeah. So would you agree that if I tell you that you had to read between the lines?
Do you mean that I have to speak a few lines or just?
Yeah. And read and then try to understand the writer's message more than what is there.
Yeah, sure.
So what were your steps in trying to understand the reading age, academic reading?
Usually the journals I read, right, they sort of like they arrange the information into segments first. So I just go to that segment that I wanted the information, then I start to read.
Okay, I think that's very intelligent reading. Why? Because she zooms into the section. However, you need to be also careful because sometimes all these writing pieces are all interconnected. You cannot need aspects, but so far so good, right? Are there something? Were there something? Smaller title subtitles. Yes. So that made her life easier because there were some headings. Yeah. Do you think you have improved from the first reading to the current reading now? Yeah. How? Tell us.
At first I was very confused, and then the more I read, then I found there's some kind of what do you call it, a same pattern.
So would you use that three skills just now? Analysis, synthesis, and evaluation? Unconsciously, maybe you wouldn't have known, oh, that's analysis, that is synthesis, that's evaluation.
I have to use that because I'm going to write a report.
Excellent, yeah. Because she has had experience actually. I'm not telling you I'm terrible. Okay. She has had experience. Now, it's good to listen to your friends' testimonies because they are real life experiences that you would at some point of time also experience that as an undergraduate. Yeah? So it's good you have listened to her, so in future you would know what to do. For those of you who haven't come across any journal article. Thank you very much. Does he look familiar? Heard about him? Read about him? Yes or no? How many of you have heard about Socrates? Just few of you, hardly hands up. Huh? Anyway, okay, critical thinking requires application of higher order thinking of critical thinking skills actually, yeah? And that's what I have been actually promoting from earlier on. So analysis, when you analyze a situation or a text, what are you doing? What are you doing? What do you usually have to do when you analyze? Come tell me. You? Don't be shy. Sorry? Okay, so that's how you analyze, alright? So it's actually breaking down information into the parts that you understand. When you analyze an article or whatever piece of reading information, yeah, you will, now you will have to go to PPPLT for proficiency courses. How many of you have already attended courses at PPPLT? So good. So this session will help you because most of you haven't. So when you go for your proficiency courses, you will need all the skills actually. Your ability to analyze will be a very long text. You will have to analyze the text, evaluate, look at it critically, and actually you must be able to synthesize it too. Okay, whatever piece of material that you are confronted with, what must you actually intelligently do? Try to figure out the theme, yes. Yeah? It depends on what, when you go for your proficiency courses in PPPLT or even any academic reading per se, there must be a theme. Theme will be the main idea as to what that article is about. So when you have a background idea as to what the theme is in relation to the article, you will understand it. It enhances your understanding power in that way. Yeah? Learn to identify common rhetorical strategies that writers use. Narration, description, cause and effect. Now, because you see, you not only do your reading in the academic context, you are also reading news online, information online. Yeah? So you should have all the strategies to help you understand what you're reading. Not just look at the words per se. Yeah, you must have all the strategies to help promote your understanding. Yeah? So the first one was, what was the first one just now? What was the first strategy? The earlier slide. What was it about? Detecting the theme, yes. Now we are going to look at the rhetorical strategies that writers use. Yeah, it could be a cause and effect strategy, it could be a narration strategy, persuasion, process analysis, comparison or contrast. Can one of you give me an example of cause and effect? One cause could have multiple effects. Say for example, you give me an example. Any of you read any article this morning? In a tutorial, lecture or online? Yes or no? No? Then give me your own example. A common example, GST. Yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with it, right? Are you familiar with it? Okay. So give me the cause and the effect. What is the cause for GST? The government needs more money. And what is the effect on us? What is the effect on us? Come on, think. Can't hear. What's that? No, actually considered Malaysia is one of the last countries to implement GST. That's why it had to start with 6%. You can't blame our government. Yeah, it's a delayed implementation. Singapore implemented so many years ago. That's why they could start with 3%. The current economy status, we had to start with 6%. So the effect is, what happens? We have to fork out more money for food, more money for all the extras. So you always have to remember that writers, when they write, there could be so many strategies that they employ. So you could employ the same strategies to understand a text. Okay, number 3, study reading theories and perspectives. Okay, these are the various theories actually. Now, this is for literature. Like for sciences, I'm sure you do have theories, right? Yes or no? We can't run away from theories, yes. So by knowing the theory, would you agree that it helps your understanding of the text? Yes? Yes, of course. Yeah, you can't run away from that. So the strategy number 3 is to understand the theories, various theories and perspective. Okay, have you heard about this? SQ3R? Yes? Okay, this is a strategy that you use to understand your text by surveying, questioning, reading, reciting, and reviewing. Okay? Okay, what do I mean by survey? Survey means scan the information in front of you. Familiarize yourself with the text that you're reading before beginning to read the entire text. So what do you do? Step number 1. You read through the whole article, whether it's 50 pages, like your friend mentioned earlier, whether it's 20 pages or 10 pages. Just skim through very fast. Now, reading has 2 strategies, skimming and scanning. Most of us do what for casual reading? Skim. Yeah, for academic reading, you need both these techniques, to skim and scan at the same time. So what is the clue to understand your text better? Titles and other headings, visual elements, graphics around the text, objectives of the text, especially when you're reading a research article. Sometimes the literature review can be quite strenuous. So zoom in on the objectives of the research paper. Okay, then move on to the research design. Yeah, then you finally look at the findings and later the implications. You could ask yourself questions as to whether you understand the text. That's another way, yeah? Or you come up with a summary of your understanding. That's another way. Okay, next is turn the headings into questions. Are you all following the strategy SQ3R? So the number 1 is S stands for survey. Very good, excellent. Next is question. Turn the headings into question. The titles of the article, change it into questions. Why? You ask yourself why question to help direct your reading and thought process. And then you look for answers to your questions. So the better your questions are, the better will be your understanding of the material. Do you agree? Yes or no? How many of you have practiced this? But you didn't know it was the SQ3R. How many of you? Good, I see a few hands. So you have done it, I'm sure. But you are not aware that it is this formula actually. Okay, next will be recite. What does recite mean? When you memorize, after memorizing, what do? You revisit what you have memorized by saying out aloud. Excellent, very good. Yeah, by saying out aloud, so that is actually reciting. So before going to a new section of your article, stop and repeat either silently or aloud the main points of what you've just read. So, and after that, you could explain the concepts in your own words to help you remember what you read. Do you do this? Yes or no? Hello? Yes. Raise your hands, how many of you do it? Not many of you. So what are your other techniques? Maybe I should ask you, right? So far, how many techniques have How many techniques? What are the three? Yes? First one is survey, second one question, and now we are at recite. So out of these three, how many of you practice all these three? Have been practicing all these three so far? How many of you? Okay, out of the three, two. Okay, out of the two, one. Which is the one? Recite. I think most of you do that. Recite, yeah? Some of you did not put up your hands, so I would like to know, so far out of these three strategies, why aren't you using any one of it while you're reading as a university student? Do you have any other strategies? Maybe you like to share with your friends? Yes? Would you like to share? Hello? You just go to the mic nearest to you. You get more blessings when you share. Or it's a secret. Then I cannot do anything. Yeah? You don't want to share with your friends, then it's fine. It's your own formula. It's okay because we all have our own formulas to read and understand and remember, yeah? Okay, the next will be read, which most of you do. Read the material slowly, carefully, one section at a time. Use the highlighter or a ballpoint pen to mark important points. Do you do this while you're reading? Yes, of course. Yeah, how many of you do it? Yeah, majority, yeah? So I think this is a proven technique, yeah? Highlight or underline only important words or phrases. Avoid marking entire sentences. Why do you have to do it? It helps you to understand better, yes. Okay, then review what you have read as soon as possible. How soon do you all do it? How soon do you all do it? Is it after 1 hour? After 1 day? Yes? After a few seconds? Yeah? Depends. Yeah, some of you prefer to do it very fast, some of you prefer to do it later. So some of you go over the notes you have written. Some of you reread complicated or underline highlighted passages. So this is another technique for your reading strategy. Okay, now SQ3R reading strategy. Now I want you to just very quickly write a title. Okay, you could do it in a group of 4. Or if you're sitting side by side to a friend, you could do it. I'm not going to call every one of you. I'll just call a few of you to see whether you could apply this SQ3R reading strategy to whatever you're reading. Just give me an example, a topic, and how you could come up with this SQ3R reading strategy. I'll give you about 5 minutes. Is that good enough? Yeah? Now try to finish as soon as possible. Huh? Okay, writing supports or proves reading. Okay, to explicate, you usually present detailed comments that reflect your understanding of what you have read. So how can you do this? You discuss the organization, how the reading material is organized, the language presentation and other elements of the writing. So this proves you have thought about and understand what you have read. So this is one technique to explicate. Another technique is to journalize, because you have to test your understanding. You are doing it right now, but sometimes maybe you're not sure about what category it falls under, yeah? To journalize is to read and respond in writing what you have read. Write about how what you read makes you feel. Okay? Write subjectively, because this may prove you understand or can apply what you have read. For critical review, assess the value of what you have read and may prove that you understand what you read. Okay, whether it's an online dictionary or not, why do you have to use it? It's because to help you understand what you read, and it is considered a valuable study tool. These days, how many of you actually still use a real hardcore dictionary? A thick Oxford. Oh, that's nice to know. Some of you still use it. So you need to use it wisely. Why? Because it's so thick. You need to quickly be able to get to the word. Yeah? And how do you do that? It's by looking at it alphabetically. Right? Quickly turn. If it starts with S, yeah, SC, H, yeah, it goes that way. Yeah? So you need to use it correctly. Now the word survey becomes familiar with what it has to offer you. Most dictionaries include the following information for each word. Pronunciation, usually it's the phonetics. Part of speech, whether it's a noun or a verb, etc. The etymology, word's history. The origin date, definition. And of course synonyms, antonyms. And examples of sentences that use that word. Okay, now we have come to this section. Yeah, it is a practice quiz. Those of you who answer it correctly, I've got a small gift for you. So I think I've got about 12 with me, yeah? Now if you answer that way, it's difficult for me to give out the gifts, yeah? You need to put your hands up. You need to raise your hands, yeah? And I need to call you out and then see if it's right or wrong, true or false. If it's right, then I will award you with a gift, yeah? Are you ready? When reading, you must look up every word. Don't answer, you have to put up your hands, okay? When reading, you must look up every word to make sure you are interpreting the text correctly. I think she put up first.
False.
Yeah, okay, so give her a round.
Yeah, go.
Oh, crap.
Good, okay. Alright. Recommended dictionaries for university students, yeah? Unabridged, yeah, it's exhaustive, not abbreviated version. So you get the direct meaning fast, yeah? So
What do you get?
then you have the various types,
Better than
yeah, of dictionaries.
Better than nothing.
Okay, number 2. Close reading requires the reader to consider historical background and the author's background before or while reading. Put up your hands. Yes. Good.
This is literature course, is it?
She's from the School of Literacies.
No.
Okay, the next one. Perception involves using one's mind as a processor with multiple capabilities. Yes. Great.
Was this taught just now?
Yeah.
Oh.
People are smart now.
Huh?
People are smart now. What time is your next class?
Is it 3 or 4?
Okay, you may be a college reader, university reader if you're one who writes, edits, or publishes perceptions for others to read. No one gets anything, it's true, yeah? Okay, next one. Key terms can help readers predict outcomes or expectations. Yes. Give him a round of applause. Okay, next one. A vigilant reader pays attention to cues. Put your hands down again, I didn't really see it, okay? Alright, raise your hands. Yes.
You want to buy?
The next question. Context reading requires readers to look for a balanced truth, read between the lines when necessary, and find ways to add their own ideas into what others have written. Yeah? Yes. Or no? What did she say? She said false or true. Okay, good. Come. Okay, now it's going to be a quiz within a quiz. Okay, I would like to ask your friend who was very active earlier answering me. Okay? What do you think the word infuse means based on context clues in the sentence?
Integrate.
Integrate, good, or to add or include, yes. So contextual clues are important, yeah? The next question. Narration is a common rhetorical strategy
It's not a hard cover.
that writers use to draw readers' attention. What do you think? Is it true or false? Put your hands down. Let me look at you again. Okay, now you can raise your hands. Okay, he says it's true. Yes, excellent. Okay, next question. An abridged dictionary provides readers with an uncondensed, exhaustive amount of information on every word in the English language. True or false? She says it's true. False. An abridged dictionary is actually shortened or condensed and may have selected information or words. Writing can support or reflect reading comprehension. True, yes. Give him a round of applause.
You want to?
This thing is until 2.
Yeah, it should be like another 10 minutes.
Okay, next question. This is a bonus question. Okay, I'll give you some time to read, yeah, and answer. Then I've got actually 3 more gifts here. Yeah? So let's see what happens. The first question, now don't discuss. Okay, read the following passage. Yeah? And then based on your contextual reading of the above statements, what key terms would you choose to underline the passage? And number 2, also define the word conversely based on your contextual reading of the passage. So I'll give you some time for this. Are you all ready?
I just left. We can have this. You can have this. You can have this. Really, you can have this. Sorry.
Okay, what is the first key term? Put up your hands. You get it from the passage here, the key term. Come on. Yes. Good. Excellent. Give her a round of applause. Huh? That was good. One more key term. Another key term. Try. Yes. Excellent. Okay, number 2. Define the word conversely based on your contextual reading of the passage. Anyone? So, if you don't understand what it is, look at the sentence before that word and read the sentence after the word for you to understand better. Yes. Okay, writing journal entries, explications, and reviews of literature can often improve or support a university reader's reading comprehension skills. However, what a university reader writes and publishes may indicate that the reader does not truly understand what or she has written. Do you all agree? Of course, thank you. Good.